This is what collapse actually looks like. Not slow, not gradual, but sudden, violent, and impossible to hide. Because what just happened inside Iran is not just another strike, it's something much bigger, something far more dangerous. The Iranian military is now operating under extreme pressure, and the decisions being made right now are starting to reveal just how far things have gone. Because after a devastating precision strike, one of the most important naval commanders of the regime was eliminated, along with his inner circle, completely, and that changed everything. Panic inside Tehran is no longer speculation, it's visible, and the response is raising serious questions. Because according to recent reports, the regime is now taking measures that would have been unthinkable just weeks ago. Measures that suggest one thing: they are running out of options. And when a regime starts running out of options, it starts making decisions that expose its true situation. The Navy was reportedly targeted in a night strike in Bandar Abbas, a strategic location, a critical hub, and more importantly, a place where leadership believed it was safe. According to multiple sources, he wasn't alone. Senior intelligence officials, operational commanders, key figures in the naval structure, all gathered in a hidden command center, and within minutes, they were gone. Now think about what that means. This wasn't just the loss of a commander, it was the removal of an entire layer of leadership in one strike. And that creates something very specific in military structures: a vacuum. And vacuums in wartime are dangerous because they force rapid decisions, poor decisions, unprepared replacements, and that's exactly where things start to break. Even US Central Command acknowledged the strike, and that alone tells you something. This wasn't symbolic, this was operational. Tangsiri had commanded the IRGC Navy for years. He was directly linked to operations in the Strait of Hormuz, responsible for harassment of shipping, attacks on vessels, and regional pressure campaigns. Removing him is not a small event. It's a structural shock. But here's where it gets more interesting, because this didn't happen in isolation. It happened in the middle of a broader collapse of capability. According to recent assessments, Iran's naval forces have been severely degraded. Some estimates suggest that up to 90% of their major naval assets are no longer operational. That's not damage, that's near destruction. And when you combine that with leadership losses, you don't just weaken a force, you destabilize it. Now, here's the question nobody is asking openly: how do you replace that? Because replacing equipment is one thing, replacing experience is something else entirely. And this is where the situation becomes even more concerning, because reports now indicate that Iran is lowering recruitment standards significantly, and not just for support roles, but for war-related functions. Some announcements suggest that individuals as young as 12 are now being accepted for auxiliary roles: logistics, patrols, support operations. Now think about that for a second. 12 years old. This isn't just a policy shift, it's a signal that the system is under pressure. Because no military lowers its recruitment age in the middle of a conflict unless it needs to, desperately. And this is not without precedent. In the 1980s, during the Iran-Iraq War, similar measures were taken. Young recruits, mass mobilization, high-risk operations. History doesn't always repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes. And right now, the pattern looks familiar. But the situation doesn't stop there, because the pressure is not just internal, it's external as well. Iran is now actively seeking support: weapons, drones, supplies, even basic resources. And the key player here is Russia. According to multiple reports, Iran and Russia have been coordinating since the early stages of this conflict. Deliveries began weeks ago: food, medical supplies, and more importantly, military equipment. This shouldn't come as a surprise, because the relationship goes both ways. Iran previously supplied Russia with drones, thousands of them, Shahd drones, missiles, technical support, even personnel to assist production, and now that pipeline is reversing. Russia is supplying Iran, but not just with the same systems, with improved ones, because after years of war in Ukraine, those drones have evolved: stronger engines, better resistance to jamming, and something even more important: autonomy. These drones are now capable of continuing missions even after losing connection, using terrain recognition, pre-programmed targeting, basic AI-assisted navigation, which means once they are launched, they don't need constant control, and that makes them harder to stop. Now here's where things escalate again. Fragments of these drones have already been recovered in the Gulf, some reportedly intercepted over areas like Dubai. Their design closely resembles Russian modified systems, which strongly suggests that the transfer is already happening in real time. But then something else happened, something that adds another layer to the situation. Israel conducted a strike in the Caspian Sea region, a place that had never been targeted before. Ports, command centers, logistical routes, all hit, and that matters, because the Caspian Sea is one of the most direct supply routes between Russia and Iran. No third countries, no bottlenecks, just a direct line. And now, that line has been disrupted. Russia acknowledged the economic impact, but didn't respond militarily, at least not yet. Which raises another question. Why? Some argue it's because Russia is focused on Ukraine. Others point to deeper geopolitical considerations. But regardless of the reason, the result is the same. Iran's supply chain is now under pressure, again. And when you combine all of this, a pattern begins to emerge. Leadership losses, naval destruction, reduced missile and drone activity, lower recruitment standards, external dependence, disrupted supply routes. This is not one event, this is a sequence. And sequences like this tell a story, not of immediate collapse, but of mounting pressure. And systems under pressure don't fail all at once. They start making mistakes. They start adapting in ways that reveal weakness. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. So the real question isn't whether Iran is under pressure. That part is clear. The real question is, how far can this go? Because if these trends continue, the next phase of this conflict may look very different, and not just for Iran, but for the entire region. Because when one system starts to crack, others feel it, and that's when things escalate, fast, much faster than expected. And that's exactly what makes this moment so important. Because we are not just watching events unfold, we are watching a system being tested, pushed, and possibly reaching its limits.